Hi everybody, welcome to the live stream. I'm Tisa Blackburn. I'm your acrylic diva. Today we're going to do a little landscape painting, pretty simple. So I'm going to go right to the overhead camera. All of the information, all of the materials that I'm using are in the description, and you can always get me at acrylicdiva.com. If you're liking this stream, please hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing this every week. And I will see you next week when we come back. But right now, let's go to the overhead camera and take a look at what we're going to be doing. I'm starting with an 8x10 canvas here. And I am going to just really quickly put down a background color. I'm going to be working on a sunset, putting out some titanium white, a little bit of Hansa yellow. Also, I can see the chat. If you want to put some questions in the chat, I'm happy to answer questions. Let's scoot that up just a little bit so you can see everything. A little Quin Magenta. We're going to put some phthalo blue out later, but first things we're going to do is tone this entire canvas. I'm taking a paper towel, and I like to do this because I want the paint to go down on the canvas and get dry really fast so I can start painting on it. So I'm going to take some titanium white, a little Hansa. I'm going to just tone this canvas. Going to give it kind of a sunset feel. Let's pick up a little bit of that Quin Magenta. You can see I'm just spreading this around with my paper towel, and that gets it down and gets it dry fast. Let's make that a little bit darker here. It's not going to be so important down here because we're going to be putting the land in down there, but I wanted some flavor in the sky there. Let's put a little more titanium white out. Get a little variation, grab a little bit of that yellow. That just gives us a little variation in the sky right off the bat. And I'm doing this with a paper towel because then things get dry really quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and put some titanium white down here at the bottom. Come back over it with my paper towel. Pick up whatever wet paint I have there. Don't drag your paper towel over that too much because it will start to leave little bits of paper towel, little crumbs, you know. You don't want to do that. Okay, that won't take long to dry. Let's put out a little more paint. We are using golden fluids. These are my 3 mixing colors here. Hansa Yellow Medium. Actually, I have benzimidazzolone, but you can certainly use Hansa Yellow as a substitute. Quinacridone Magenta, Phthalo Blue Green shade, and of course, titanium white. You're going to need that. So let's put out a little bit more paint. I'll put out a little bit more yellow. And when it comes time for me to make greens, I'll be putting out some more yellow. Put a little Quin Magenta out there. Fair amount of titanium white. That gets us started in the sky up here. Let's put a little phthalo blue out too, because we're going to have a little bit of blue in that sky as well. I have got a Princeton Aqua Elite number 12 that I'm working with. I love these brushes. I'm going to get a lot of titanium white on my brush, and I'm just going to lay that down like so, really liberally. Just get some nice gestural paint strokes going there. Now, pick up a little bit of that phthalo blue, pull it over here, and grab a lot of that titanium white because that phthalo blue is really strong. So you want very little phthalo and lots of titanium. Questions for me, put them right in the chat and I will do my best to answer those. Okay, I'm just picking up some of that kind of orange underpainting, you know. Blending right into that wet titanium. That really helps. Okay, so far so good. Let's get a little bit more white here. Now I'm going to wipe my brush. I'm not putting it in the water, just wiping it. Don't put it in the water. You'll make a mess. A little bit of that yellow. Pull it in over here. Grab a tiny bit of that Quin Magenta, not too much. Just going to give it a feel of a little rosy glow there. Down at the bottom of these clouds. Just a little rosy glow. That's all. Okay, let's grab a little bit more of that titanium white. We're working really juicy, you know, very expressive. Just get some really pretty sky action going there. Okay. I think I want to darken that up a little bit up there, so I am going to rinse my brush because I don't want my sky to go green. So I'm going to rinse my brush and dry it really, really well. Grab a little bit of that phthalo. I'm going to go a little darker now, a little bit less titanium. Get a little bit of that phthalo up there to kind of give us some contrast. Pick up that titanium, and it works really great to just blend wet on wet like that, a la prima. A little bit of dark here. Throw a little titanium white in there. And we've got a kind of a nice sky going. And see, that underpainting helps. Having just a little bit of that peek through, that helps. Okay, we've got our nice glow down here. Let's go a little more rosy with that. Rinse my brush. Dry it. Dry it really well. Don't bring any of that water back to your palette. Pick up a little of that Quin Magenta. Little titanium white. Let's bring some of that in here. A little bit more yellow. Just give us that glow. Okay, now let's start working on some land. Clean my brush. Wipe it nice and dry. So where's everybody coming from? I see we've got some people in the room. Where are you coming from? Where are you watching from? I'd love to know. Okay, let's have some land. We're going to have some ocean, you know, beach type stuff happening here. But let's start, you know, we're always going to work back to front, sky, land, middle ground, foreground, like that. So let's start with our phthalo blue, little Hansa or benzimidazolone, whatever green or yellow you've got. Want that a little bit darker. Let's just go right here. Let's build that landform out like so. And let's get some nice phthalo down there. Come back, grab some of that Hansa. Get some beautiful greens going. Just mix them right on the canvas. You don't need to mix on the palette, mix on the canvas. Okay. And you see, I'm just letting the paint do the work for me. Okay, let's get a little bit more definition in these guys. I'm going to wipe my brush. I've got some titanium white on my brush and I want to get that off. Hi, Denise. Denise is from Oakland. You went to JFK. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. That takes me back. That's where I did my graduate work. Back in the day. I won't tell you how many years ago that was. It's shocking. I'm just building up these landforms, you know, using that phthalo as my dark. Let's get it a little darker here. We need a little bit more contrast. And let's have another shape here, because that was looking kind of not lumpy enough. It wasn't lumpy enough. It was just too straight. And I think another couple of lumps down here, you know. Yeah, let's have some interesting landforms. Now I want to get some more muted greens here. And in order to do that, I'm going to go right into the Quin Magenta and bring it over to my green. And you're probably going, what? It's purple. But we're going to grab a little Hansa Yellow and come back into that. And that's going to mute it down. Let's see what we've got over here. See, that's kind of a too blue-green. I still need some yellow. So I'm going to put some yellow in that. Let's have a little more. There we go. Now I've got a nice kind of offbeat, kind of muted green. And see how pretty that is? It goes right in there. Let's add a little more phthalo to give it some definition. I'm going to grab the Quin and go right in there. You probably think I'm crazy, but that's okay. Wouldn't be the first time. But see how it's just building up the different shapes there. Let's have a little more of that phthalo. Okay. All right, for right now, we're going to leave it like that. Now we're going to have a nice big water feature here. So I'm going to start that with titanium white, and I'm just going to block it in like so. Let's have it come all the way, almost all the way up. We'll have it come around like so. And I'm just grabbing titanium white. It's going to be my base. Oh, right. Oh yeah, Denise says we printed on jelly plates, didn't we? Yeah, jelly plates. Did we do jelly plate printing? I think we did. So I'm laying in that titanium white, sort of as my base, and then I'll grab a little phthalo. We're just going to make some water here. Let's grab a little Quin Magenta too. We'll just pull that in. Now, if you're working on one of these on your own, of course, you're going to take a lot more time than I am. You know, when I do these lives, I try to keep them pretty quick. So you're going to want to, you know, take more time with it, obviously. I'm going to lay some more white in here. And then I'm going to make some blues. Let's grab a little of this phthalo, bring it over here. I've got this weird green happening here, and I want to pick up a little bit of that, believe it or not. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that green, grab a little titanium white, and see, I get a color that's more over like in a teal. And that'll give me some variation in my water. And my water won't just be phthalo blue and titanium white. We'll have a little variation there. Let's get a little bit of that Quin Magenta, just like so. And that just gives us a little bit of variation in that water. I'm going to get my titanium white and just break it up a little bit. Break it up. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Okay, Now, just quickly, don't forget that you can take a Saturday class with me. As a matter of fact, I have one this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And you can just pop over to acrylicdiva.com and grab a seat in that class. We do that almost every Saturday. Okay, back to the painting. Let's have a few little wave action things going here. Okay, I don't want to get too fussy with the water. Okay, so far so good. I think we're going to have to come back to the sky and do a little bit more dramatic clouds up there in the sky, but we'll get back to that. We're only on our underpainting right now. Okay, in the foreground, we're going to have some land and maybe some vegetation that comes over this water. So let's go back to making some green. I'm going to go to the phthalo and the Hansa. And I'm going to pull in some vegetation-like things here. I always tell everybody when I'm doing these paintings, I'm not a botanist. So I don't know what kind of vegetation this is. I'm making it up, y'all. I'm not looking at anything, so I don't know what kind of vegetation it is. It's green growing stuff. That's all I can say. That's all I know. I'm just the painter. So I'm basically just patting, pat, the canvas with my brush and just picking up these different yellows, greens, throw a little phthalo blue in there for good measure, like so, you know, just to build up that foreground. And we'll come back and do some other fun stuff to it in a minute. Let's grab a little more Hansa over here. And see my brush? These brushes are so great. They're in your description. These brushes are amazing. These brushes just really make you look good. So I'm just doing little vertical brush strokes here, you know, as though you were sitting there looking over some hedges and things like that. Get a little bit of titanium white back here. Maybe a little more phthalo blue. And just have some fun with those paint strokes, you know. Make it nice and juicy. Get real expressive with it. We're not doing, you know, we're not doing a line by line rendition. We're not doing a plein air piece and copying every paint stroke, right? We're just having fun with it. We've only been painting for 18 minutes. I mean, come on. Okay. So we've established our composition. We've got our sky, our ground here, our land in the background, our water, and our middle, sort of, and our foreground, really. So I'm going to wash my brush. And I'm going to come back with some clean titanium white and give myself some kind of cool cloud stuff. So let's have some cloud action here, you know, some dramatic cloud action. Just really have fun with that. Get that titanium white down there. Yeah, see, that's fun. That, you know, you get some really fun stuff going there. Now, if you happen to come down on top of your little hill there, don't worry about it. We're going to come back here and work on that guy in a minute. But now we've got some kind of cool cloud action going, and I like it. Now let's go back to our hill here. Let's get a little bit more information going back there. I am going to put out a little bit more phthalo blue. And I'm going to darken up some of these areas, you know. Let's grab some of that Hansa. little more Hansen, never hurt. Let's get some more out here. Whoops, that's the wrong bottle. Let's get some more yellow out here. Okay, and maybe a tiny bit of that Quinn magenta with the yellow makes it kind of a nice brown. Oof, makes a beautiful brown. Look at that. Now I can come right down over these guys because I'm going to do something with those in a minute. And I'm actually going to darken this up, almost black. So that's Quinn magenta, phthalo blue, and a little bit of that yellow. It almost is black, but I'll get some really nice darks here. Let's get a couple of those darks going. That gives us a differentiation in those hills. Gives us a little bit of detail. We've got some darks. I always use a little bit of dark there for contrast. And like I said, let the brush do the work. You know, you don't have to do everything. Let that brush do it. These brushes are so good at the, you know, the flow of the paint. They just make you look good. That's, you know, how easy is that, right? Okay. Well, I could just play with those hills back there all day. I could just keep painting on that for a while. This guy's a little bit too light. Let's give him a little bit of blue. There we go. Okay, good. All right, we've got our hill definition going. We've got some cool sky thing happening there. And our water, I think I'm going to leave our water just the way it is. I'm happy with the water. But you know, I can't leave those hills alone. I'm going to grab a little titanium white and Hansa, and I'm going to come in here and give them a little bit more detail. I just can't leave well enough alone, you know. Let's incorporate that a little better. Yeah, that's much better. Now let's bring our dark back because I painted over at the top of it a little bit. This is all three of my colors, basically. Just bring my dark back a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm happy now. Quit playing with the hills. All right, we've been painting for 23 minutes. I'm trying to get this in at under half an hour or less. Let's see if I can do it. So we've got our vegetation going. Let's get a little more vegetation happening. I am mixing some greens and blues down here. Denise says, I mean, kind of like jelly plate, more we'd pour a puddle of acrylic medium and spread then a... Oh, we were doing digital grounds. We were painting on acrylic skins. I mean, we were printing on acrylic skins. Oh, yeah, I haven't done that in ages. Oh, my goodness, that takes me back. Yeah, we were making acrylic skins and then printing on them. That was wacky. That was super wacky. I don't do that anymore as a general rule, but yeah, it's pretty wild. You can make an acrylic skin, let it dry, and then put it through the printer and print on it. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? But it was fun, wasn't it, Denise? It was fun. Fun and crazy. So you like my 23-minute painting? This is my 23-minute painting, y'all. 23 minutes. So I'm just coming back now with some different colors on top of that background painting that I had there. Putting in a little bit of detail. Let's go with a little yellow. Let's go a little bit yellowy green here on top of these guys. You know, just little paint strokes, right? Little paint strokes. Just to kind of make it feel like vegetation. All right, a little bit more of that. I'm gonna make some bigger paint strokes back here, like we have maybe a big bush here. But again, I'm using my brush vertical, you know. I know I keep saying this, you let the brush do the work. I sound like a broken record. But I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. It really does. When you have a good brush, it's gonna be your best friend in the world. And look, I'm only using 3 colors of paint. That's all I ever use. And that's it. And a good brush. And what else do you need? You know? Acrylic skins. Oh my gosh, that takes me back. I haven't done those in a long time. Wow. Okay, so see how I'm just making these little paint strokes here to give the impression that I've got like a field of flowers or something like that. And then we'll come back, wash our brush really well and dry it really well. And for this, I am not going to use my nice aquarelle brush. I'm going to use another brush. Let's find it, if I can find it. It is a square brush. This is also a Princeton Heritage, but this isn't actually the brush I want. Here's the brush I want. This is a Langnickel brush, and it's a flat 3/4 inch. So I am going to mix up. I'm going to take my brush and just hold it vertical like this. So I'm working on this end of it right here. And I'm going to grab some titanium white, grab some Quin Magenta, pat, 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 and pat off on your palette knife first, on your palette paper first. You don't want a big blob of paint. You just want little bits of paint, right? And see the funny paint stroke that makes? Let me, I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see. See that funny paint stroke? It makes a funny paint stroke. But it's perfect for what we're doing because it looks like some strange little flower thing. So we're just pat, pat, pat. And you can really mask them up if you want to. Like I'm going to make them pretty thick over here because we're in the foreground. I'll go back into the Quin Magenta, get a little bit darker Quin Magenta, a little less titanium white. And I'm leaving these blank for a reason because they're going to be tiny and this brush won't do that. So you want to have a little bit of variation. Get a little bit more white. Oh yeah, they kind of look like a weird iris, don't they? Kind of a strange, they're my strange alien flowers. Okay, so I've got this kind of fun flower thing happening here. I'm going to get some more white. Okay. Now I'm going to get a smaller square brush, same Langnickel, tiny, and for this one I'm going to get a lot of titanium white, and I actually want clean titanium white. Put a little out there. And let's go white first, just tapping it off, just little tiny white ones. See, they're smaller, but they're kind of the same shape. We'll start with white. There may not be enough contrast. We'll see. We'll see. That works. That kind of works. I think we could make them a little more fancy if we wanted to, but I think that kind of works. Now, I will come back with a little yellow. Make it really light, put some titanium white in it. Get that on my brush. And let's just put a couple of these in between. Whoops, that went green. I don't want green. Okay, let me tap that and see if I like it. That'll work. So this time, instead of going straight down, I'm just gonna go sideways. And just watch it, because some of that stuff underneath, that green underneath, is gonna still be wet. So just watch when you tap that. Make sure that you're not picking up too much of that green. And these kind of start to look like tulips, the way that these go down. Okay, got a couple of those going there. We don't need too many of those. Just sprinkle them in there, like flavor. I think we need one right here, and maybe one right there. Okay, well, you know what? That is our 31-minute painting. We could spend a lot more time on that, but that is our 31-minute painting. And I just wanted to let you know that you can actually do a painting in 30 minutes. I'm gonna come back to the camera here. Whoops! That's not what I meant to do. Let's make that a little smaller. There we go. I meant to do an overlay there so that I could talk to you guys and you could see the painting at the same time. Let's try that one more time, Tisa. Doesn't want to. Okay. Well, we'll do it this way. There I am. Let's move that out of the way because that's confusing. There. Now you can see me and you can see the painting at the same time. There you go. So here's the key to a 30-minute painting. Have an idea in mind and get it down, and don't fuss around too much with it. Use good tools, use good paint, and use good brushes, and have a good time. Be painterly and have a good time, okay? All right, if you enjoyed that, I'm going to put it back on the screen for you so you can see it one more time. I say I am. Let's try that one more time. My camera is acting up. So I am going to do this. Ha ha ha. Let's try that. There we go. Now you can see it. And you can use these colors and these paints and have a really good time with it. 30-minute painting. They said it couldn't be done. All right, you all. I will see you next time. We're going to be doing these weekly. Be sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you want to join us for Saturday class, please do. We take 90 minutes and do a full-blown painting, and I go really slow, not fast like when I do a YouTube live, but that way you get all of the information and you can hang with me for 90 minutes and let's do some painting over at acrylicdiva.com, okay? I'll see you then. Take it easy. Bye.